After grounding with some crocodile breathing or even seated meditation, it's time to get into mobility work. And I found a couple tools very useful for me and my students. A foam roller, a mobility massage ball. I like the brand The Orb. This is fantastic. The PsoRite has been a game changer for me. The PsoSpine, I believe it's called the PsoBack now. They have a rounded version. Mine is flat. And something like a massage gun are very valuable tools. Now, for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to share with you kind of the major areas you should get into. With a foam roller, I like to think of the macro instead of the micro. The micro, I might use something like this instead of the foam roller. I always start on my back with the foam roller. Now, just like the crocodile breathing, we want to really relax into these positions where it's tight, interlacing the fingers behind the head. I'm going to start with some really gentle rolls, seeing how my back feels, seeing my neck. I might move side to side as I go up and down. Always getting to a little bit of a tight spot right here. I might lean over the foam roller, get some adjustments in my spine. Really just opening up the back from computer work or driving or anything else that's putting you in a compromised position. So the back is feeling pretty good today. I might work into my lats just a bit, moving my arm, relaxing in, melting into these individual spikes. This feels really good. My left lat gets a little bit tight from kettlebell work. That feels good. I might move into the shoulder blade just a bit, and I'll switch to the other side. Don't need too much of this. You just need to know how to do it. You need to know how to relax into it, be receptive to the foam roller, don't fight it. I think that's a major issue with a lot of this work, is that people are always trying to fight it. And my breathing's relaxed. I'm feeling good, a little bit tight through there. Overall, that's really, really nice. So again, remember, the foam roller is a macro tool. We're kind of just mashing up a lot of this fascia that we have tight spots in. So after the back, I will always go to my glutes, Piriformis, glute medius, glute maximus. For me, what I like to do is cross my ankle over my opposite knee, and then I'm down on my elbow to place a little bit more weight. And for most people, this is really tight. So as I roll up and down, I might find some tight spots, roll side to side. If I find a really tight spot, I might sit on it, exhale into it. Again, just think of melting into these little spikes. This doesn't feel too bad today, so I'll just straighten out the leg, get the glute maximus. That's pretty tight. That's okay though. That's okay, it's from all the kettlebell swings and snatches. Okay, for good measure, I'll just hit that left side real quick. My left hip seems to be a bit tighter. It's always good to pay attention to this stuff because we are really looking toward being cognizant of what's going on in our body. We can explain a lot of the pain, but if you've never spent the time to explore these positions and actually get on the floor, it's really tough to know. I've just heard so many people in pain over the years, and I'll give them homework and almost never do they actually do it. So that was kind of the point of me writing this article and filming these videos, is as a resource. And it's one of those things, the longer you can do it, the better. But if you have a long stretching session every week, you can kind of just brush by this stuff. And I'll get a lot of my foam rolling done in 5 to 10 minutes now. It doesn't take too long. I'll move on to the calves, especially at that soleus and gastroc insertion. This is always a very tight area right there. Yep, I feel it from all those step ups and the rucks. Do the other side real quick. I'm just trying to get a little blood flow down there before I train with my kettlebells after filming these videos. That feels pretty good. That side's tight. It's pretty tight. So I might work on that later. I find just the foam roller benefits me the most. Okay, I'm gonna work lastly on my quads. You can spend a lot of time on the quads. Typically they're pretty tight. For me, I focus right up at the top toward my hip crease and kind of move into my groin. That area gets really tight just from driving, from road trips, driving to work. Then kind of moving into that lateral quad. People think they're rolling their IT band, but they're more than likely just getting that vastus lateralis, which gets really tight, especially if you're squatting a lot or you're running. Oh yeah, quad's a little bit tight, not too bad though. So for me, those tight areas on my quads or behind my shoulders, I could spend a little bit more time, and I'll show you what I would do with the orb next. Right side doesn't feel as bad. Let's say I did feel a really tight spot. I might just sit on it and melt into it. The breathing is really a practice. And the better you get at that, man, things will come undone quickly. Okay, so that was the foam roller, kind of some macro areas. Let's say I was very sore, maybe in my lats or behind my shoulders. What I might do is use something like the orb. The orb is really nice because it's kind of tacky and gets into those areas. And yeah, when I go behind the shoulder, it's pretty tight. Lots of pressing I do. So what I might do is just move my arm around it, almost like I'm doing Egyptians. Yeah, I feel that. Feel that. A little bit tacky. Into the lat a little bit. I might free up the shoulder blade a bit more by getting on top of it and getting into that rhomboid and the trap. That feels really nice. And the orb is also very, very nice for getting into the quad. I like to put it right here at the top of the quad to get that rectus femoris. I might just move side to side. Feel tendons kind of moving over each other. Feel that muscle's really, really tight. So that's one I might work on a little bit later tonight. Really, the concept is figuring out what you need and doing more of that. You don't have to do everything every time, but you might need to in the beginning. Okay, this has been the game changer for me, the PsoRite. Years of lower back pain. I sprinted my entire life, rode bikes my entire life, hiked. My psoas were really, really tight. And as soon as I got this thing and used it frequently, all my back pain went away. Basic concept, lying prone. What we would do, kind of find either side of our belly button, and you feel this dull pain, and that's the psoas. Oh, so just moving side to side, kind of squirming back. I'll always find some really dull knots in here. Same idea, just inhale. Exhale into those knots, and today my left side's feeling a little tight. You can move this up or down. Sometimes I like to get into the hip, into that iliacus. A really good tool. You don't need too long on this, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. Now, the foam roller takes care of a lot of my spine, but sometimes my neck will get very tight or my lower back. What I'll do here on the PsoSpine, I'll align it with the sides of my spine, and I'll feel those spinal erectors, and they're pretty tight always. And I'll just try and keep some gentle pressure on it. And I'll just sit at one spot, and I'll do my inhales and exhales. Finding that when I tuck my tailbone, I can really get a lot deeper. So I'll wait for it to loosen up. I might move my body. In this case, I'll just move the PsoSpine right now. Get up to that mid-back area, which is always really tight. I might move my arms in different directions just to get into those muscles a bit deeper. And then finally, what I love to do, get into the traps, get into those neck muscles, and just bridge into it. Trying to relax, I'm melting into the prongs. I might move down or up. Oh, this is the tight spot. So I'll just stay here. Spending as long as I need on that tool. Now, finally, massage gun is great. It's not great for everything. One thing I like to do while I'm watching TV or while I'm getting ready for bed is just get the massage gun and kind of leave The tissue is a little bit relaxed. You can see I'm not flexing it. It actually feels pretty loose after the foam roller, but using the massage gun, finding the lines of the muscle fibers and just freeing things up. You don't have to free them completely like a deep tissue massage, just to kind of get some looseness in the muscle tissue. The massage gun is great. I'll also get into my calves big time, especially when I'm hiking a lot, into the soleus. Sometimes I'll use the gun on my pecs, just opening up my arm and getting into the pecs. It's great for the forearms and the wrist extensors here. You can do it on the neck, not great for that, kind of rattles your brain. And if you have a partner who can do your hamstrings, your glutes, your low back, your upper back, even better. That stuff is just tough to do on your own. So, in review, we have the Hypervolt, the PsoSpine, the PsoRite, a good myofascial release ball. I like the Orb, and my favorite foam roller is the Rumble roller. This is the softer version. I don't think anyone necessarily needs the hard version. More is not better. Relaxing into mobility or myofascial release is better. So, your task is to find out what you need and do more of it.